The morning was still when Margaret stepped out of the shower. Steam rose around her like a quiet fog, carrying the scent of lavender soap and warm water. She reached for her favorite towel, the same soft one she'd used all week, and pressed it against her face. It felt familiar, comforting, like an old friend. But when she left the bathroom, something lingered in the air. It wasn't strong, just faint. A sweet, musty trace that never seemed to go away no matter how often she washed. Margaret didn't understand it. She'd always been clean. Fastidious, even. 2 showers a day, scented lotion, perfume before bed. Yet lately, her efforts seemed to make no difference. She didn't know it yet, but her body had quietly changed, and 6 small habits, the ones that once kept her feeling fresh, had begun working against her. As we age, the body's chemistry rewrites itself. Skin becomes drier, thinner, more delicate. Hormones that once balanced oil production begin to fade, and a faint new scent emerges. Something scientists call 2-non-enal, a natural compound produced when skin oils oxidize. It isn't unpleasant, it's simply human. But when our old routines stay the same soaps, the same towels, the same fabrics, that chemistry can get trapped and magnified. What follows isn't a loss of cleanliness, it's a loss of balance. And that's where Margaret's quiet mystery began. Every morning she hung her towel neatly on a hook. The room stayed warm and damp for hours. Sunlight filtered through the window, but never reached the cloth. She never thought much of it. But inside those damp fibers, bacteria thrived on the skin cells she'd left behind. Older skin sheds faster, releasing microscopic flakes that become food for the tiny organisms that love moisture. By the 3rd day, the towel wasn't just drying her skin, it was reintroducing yesterday's bacteria back onto it. That faint sourness in the air wasn't her imagination. It was the smell of fabric that never had the chance to truly breathe. When she finally replaced it daily and let fresh air touch the room, the difference was instant. The air felt cleaner. The mirror didn't fog as long. Even her skin felt lighter. Sometimes the smallest ritual, a dry towel, open window, sunlight on cotton, restores more than we realize. Margaret had always loved scent. Her vanity held bottles of rose, jasmine, and vanilla, and her shower shelf gleamed with colorful body washes. Each one promised all-day freshness, and for a few hours, they delivered. But by evening, she'd notice it again. That strange mix of sweetness and something metallic underneath. It wasn't that her products weren't working, they were simply working too well. Fragrances, especially those loaded with alcohol and surfactants, strip away the friendly bacteria that keep skin balanced. They don't neutralize odor, they silence the good microbes that prevent it. The result? The body fights back, overproducing oils, changing pH, amplifying the very scent she was trying to hide. When Margaret switched to a gentle, fragrance-free cleanser and stopped layering lotions, powders, and sprays, her skin found its own calm again. Her scent softened, not floral or fruity, just quietly human. Clean skin never needed to smell like anything but itself. She loved her morning routine, a cup of tea, the newspaper, and 10 peaceful minutes in the bathroom. But what she didn't realize was that those extra minutes were doing more harm than good. Prolonged sitting puts pressure on the pelvic floor and veins, already sensitive with age. It traps heat and moisture around delicate skin and encourages bacteria to linger where they shouldn't. That warmth, combined with time, becomes an invisible invitation to odor and irritation. When Margaret began keeping her visits short, no phone, no paper, just presence, she felt the difference immediately. Her digestion improved, her skin irritation eased, and that heaviness in the lower body she'd thought was just age began to fade. The body doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for rhythm, effort, and rest, not stillness mistaken for peace. Arthritis had stiffened Margaret's fingers. Turning or reaching behind had become awkward, sometimes painful. She wiped carefully, but not always thoroughly. And like many women her age, she didn't realize that good enough had stopped being enough. Even a trace of residue, unseen, unfelt, can multiply in hours. In the warm folds of aging skin, bacteria find shelter. It's not neglect, it's simply anatomy meeting time. When Margaret learned to take her time, to use water when she needed it and always finish dry, she felt something shift. Not just physically, but emotionally. She wasn't rushing anymore. She was caring, present, gentle. And that, too, carries its own scent, the scent of calm. In her dresser drawer, rows of silky nylon underwear sat folded, like little luxuries from another life. Soft, elegant, but airless. Synthetic fabrics, especially when paired with the natural moisture that comes with age, trap heat and bacteria against the skin. They hold the body too tightly. When Margaret replaced them with breathable cotton and bamboo, her skin felt cool again. She slept without underwear some nights, letting air touch places that had been covered for decades. She realized that comfort is not a loss of beauty. It's beauty rediscovered in honesty. The final habit was the hardest to break. For years, Margaret believed that cleanliness meant scrubbing. She used antibacterial soap down there every morning and again before bed, convinced it kept her fresh. But overwashing had stripped away her skin's natural barrier, raising its pH and killing the good bacteria that kept odor-causing ones in check. She was, unknowingly, cleaning away her own protection. When she began using only warm water most days, saving a gentle pH balance cleanser for occasional use, the difference came slowly but surely. The dryness faded, the irritation calmed, and that faint odor that had haunted her for months began to vanish on its own. Sometimes, less really is the most powerful kind of care. The truth is, nothing mysterious was happening to Margaret's body. It was simply evolving. The oils that once moisturized easily now oxidized more quickly. The skin that once bounced back from any soap or scent now needed gentleness to stay steady. 2-nonenal, that tiny invisible compound scientists discovered, is part of every aging body. It's the scent of experience, not decay. And when we stop waging war against it, when we work with our skin instead of punishing it, it softens into something subtle. The scent of life, lived fully and honestly. Weeks later, Margaret's daughter stopped by and paused at the doorway. The bathroom smelled different, not perfumed, not scrubbed, just clean, like linen in sunlight. Margaret smiled. The change hadn't been dramatic, only deliberate. A dry towel each morning, a simpler soap, a few mindful minutes less in the bathroom. Cotton, where silk once was. Her home smelled not of effort, but of ease, and for the first time in years, so did she. There's a quiet dignity in caring for ourselves differently than before. The world tells women to cover, to fight, to mask the signs of age. But the real wisdom is in subtraction. Less scrubbing, less scent, more listening. The body after 60 isn't fragile. It's wiser, slower, and softer, asking only to be treated that way. When we listen, freshness returns naturally, not from bottles, but from balance. Margaret's story is a reminder that self-care isn't about resisting time. It's about partnering with it, because the body doesn't stop knowing what to do. It just asks us to help it, gently. Now her home smells like open windows and peace. Her skin feels like itself again. No perfume, no fight, just calm. If you see a part of yourself in her story, start small. Change one thing, a towel, a soap, a routine, and watch how quickly the air shifts around you. Because true cleanliness isn't how much you wash, it's how well you understand what your body really needs. If this story resonated, share your thoughts below. We read everyone. And if you'd like more reflections like this, subscribe and stay close. This is Living with Wisdom, where aging isn't about trying to stay the same. It's about learning how beautifully we can evolve.